Let's talk about Sam Bankman-Fried, a 30-year-old guy who in just 8 years built this absolutely massive crypto empire. Seriously, the world was calling him a genius, the new king of finance. And then, poof, it all just disappeared.
At his absolute peak, this was his net worth, $26 billion. I mean, that's a number so big it feels fake, right? You'd think that kind of wealth is permanent. But, as we're about to find out, it was built on something incredibly fragile.
So how in the world does $26 billion, a global company, and this legendary reputation just evaporate? Well, the thing that kicked it all off, the trigger, was a single tweet. It sounds crazy, I know. So let's get into exactly how that happened.
Okay, so to really get the fall, you have to understand the rise. And what a rise it was. This was a story everybody in the financial world was obsessed with. This super smart kid from MIT who just couldn't seem to lose.
And just look at the timeline, it's wild. He graduates from a top school in 2014, and by 2017, just 3 years later, he's already got his first company, Alameda Research, up and running. Then boom, 2 years after that, he launches FTX, the crypto exchange that would turn him into a legend. The speed is just incredible.
So what was his big, game-changing idea? Honestly, it was pretty simple, but brilliant. He found this little loophole in the market. He realized he could buy Bitcoin for cheap in the US and then sell it for way more over in Japan. This little trick was so profitable that on some days, he was making up to $25 million a day. That incredible fire hose of cash is what he used to start his first company, Alameda Research.
Now, for anyone who's not deep in the crypto world, an exchange like FTX is basically like a stock market, but for cryptocurrencies. Every single time you buy or sell something, the exchange takes a tiny little fee. It doesn't sound like a lot, but when you have millions of people trading billions of dollars, those tiny fees turn into an absolute fortune.
And this is where things get really clever. Or maybe really reckless. To make FTX huge, Sam created his very own crypto coin, the FTT token. Then he told users, hey, if you buy and hold our token, we'll give you massive discounts on trading. It worked like a charm. It created this huge artificial demand for FTT, which drove the price from basically zero all the way up to $80. And just like that, he had over 1 million people flocking to his platform. It was a genius, self-fueling machine.
But here's the thing. Behind all the success, the fancy Super Bowl ads, the celebrity endorsements, there was a secret, a really big one, a fatal flaw right at the heart of the empire, and it was about to get exposed in a very public way.
So what was this dirty little secret? Well, here's the best way to think about it. Imagine you put your life savings in a bank, and then you find out the bank manager was taking your money, without telling you, and betting it all at a casino. That's pretty much what was happening. People put their money into FTX, trusting it was safe, but behind the scenes, Sam Bankman-Fried was taking that money and making huge, risky bets with it.
Here's the play-by-play of how it all went down. Step 1. You, the customer, deposit your money into your FTX account. Easy enough. Step 2. Without you knowing, Sam secretly funnels billions of that customer money over to his other company, Alameda Research. Step 3. Alameda, which was run by his girlfriend and close friends, takes all that cash and makes massive, risky gambles on the crypto market. And then, step 4, the market tanks, those bets go bad, and billions of dollars of customer money, it just vanished.
So, how did this massive secret get out? Well, the whole thing started to unravel because of a huge mistake. Caroline Ellison, who was the CEO of Alameda and SBF's girlfriend, basically confirmed in an interview that Alameda's business was being propped up with money from FTX customers. The second she said the words customer funds, you can bet that alarm bells started going off everywhere.
And one person who heard those alarm bells loud and clear was this guy, CZ. He's the CEO of Binance, FTX's biggest competitor. On November 6, 2022, he dropped this tweet. He was basically announcing to the entire world, hey, something shady is going on at FTX, we don't trust them anymore, and we're selling all of our FTT tokens. Now, this wasn't just a tweet, this was a direct shot.
And the result? Complete and utter chaos. That one tweet sparked a massive panic. Suddenly, everyone with money on FTX was scrambling to get it out, all at the same time. It was a classic bank run, but happening at the speed of the internet. And when people tried to withdraw, they found out the money wasn't there. The vaults were empty.
What happened next was, well, it was one of the fastest, most stunning financial collapses in modern history. The crypto king's entire empire just turned to dust in less than a week.
Just look at the scale of this thing. When investigators finally got a look at the books, they found FTX owed its customers $10 billion. And how much did they actually have? Less than $1 billion, about $900 million to be precise. Nearly 90% of the money that people thought was safe was just gone.
I mean, the speed of this fall is just breathtaking. One day, SBF has a net worth of $26 billion. A few days later, he's $8 billion in debt. He went from being the crypto king, celebrated everywhere, to a bankrupt outcast, literally overnight.
And then, just 5 days after that tweet, it was all over. Sam Bankman-Fried officially threw in the towel. FTX, a company that was once valued at over $30 billion, filed for bankruptcy. The empire was officially dead. So, what's the big lesson in all of this? Well, it really boils down to this toxic mix of insane greed and arrogance. Sam Bankman-Fried seemed to think he was playing a video game where the rules just didn't apply to him. He treated billions of dollars of other people's money like it was his own personal piggy bank. He stretched so far beyond his means that when things went south, he didn't just crash and burn, he took everyone down with him.
And that leaves all of us with a really important question, one that goes way beyond just crypto. Yeah, the FTX story is an extreme case, for sure, but it forces you to stop and ask yourself, whether it's a hot new app or your old school bank down the street, how much do you really know about what's happening to your money after you deposit it? It's something to think about, isn't it?